Hello, everybody. Hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully I'm live. I'm trying to go live. There we go. Hi. Hi, everyone. This is Rebecca with Red True Crime, doing a special live today. So I've had some YouTube podcasters, some Facebook podcasters, all coming here for the last couple of weeks regarding information about Marissa Carmichael, and about her missing person case. And let me say, it's getting old. So I've invited these people, Duchess for the missing, or Duchess discussions as it is on Facebook, AJ Always Something. These are people that I have, I'm putting out an invite. Come talk to me and we can discuss this in an open forum. I give you my ideas, you give me your ideas, outside of what Sarah, Marissa's mom, has told you. So just waiting on people to hop on here and we'll go from there. I will say this. There's been so much that's been said about Marissa Carmichael. There really is. And, everybody has an opinion. Everybody has a theory. These are all things that we've dealt with. So, and I have, a lot of people messaging me, messaging my family, calling me a liar, calling me unhinged, calling me schizophrenic, whatever you want to call it. But it's simply not true. I'm not unhinged. I'm not schizophrenic. I'm not crazy. And if you follow the documents, from the court cases in Guilford County, it proves a lot of what I've been saying. So, like, Sarah did a live. I've done a few lives here over the last week with a couple different podcasters. And she has put out there one narrative that Marissa was never a prostitute and Marissa never did drugs. Now, I will say this. I can't find where she's ever been charged with prostitution or trafficking or anything like that. But, and however, I do have a case where in 2018, she was arrested for simple possession for a Schedule IV drug. And we looked this up, and a Schedule IV drug is like, basically prescription drugs that you have without a prescription. And on the night that she went into Greensboro, right before she went missing, she did stop at somebody's house and picked up some pills. And according to Tasha, those were Xanax, which would be a type 4 drug or Schedule 4 drug. Sorry, my camera's running a little slow here, so I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Okay, so we have that. One thing has been said that Marissa and the child support cases that she had pending before she went missing, that's another issue we're talking about. I do know that the one that was dismissed on the 10th of January was due to the fact that the person that they were taking to court for child support, Thomas Cole, he was never served, so he was never tested. So we don't know if he is the father of the oldest child. We do know that the child support case between her and Gamel McIntyre was dismissed simply because Marissa didn't show up for court. And, we do know those kids were tested, so we don't know if it turned out he was the father or not of any of those children. But if you look at this, Marissa has got a few different charges, and this is not victim blaming. Let me make this clear. I got a person at me that called this victim blaming. And There is no victim blaming here. This is strictly her background and the lifestyle she was living, which can lead to what happened to her and going missing. So I'm going to say this again. Duchess discussions or AJ always something. I would love to see you guys on here and we could have a conversation. So I'm going to create a poll. I've never done this before. And I'm going to ask people, do you think if Marissa was into prostitution? Okay, so I just put that poll out there. So if you see that, let me know. So again, as I keep saying, so let's talk about all the things with Marissa and start all over again with the timeline and what we can prove. We know for a fact that she left her house in High Point on January 13th. We know that she was going out with Naja, and Tasha was carting them into Greensboro to go to a party. Now, Sarah says that Marissa was convinced to go out. Per text messages she had with Mo Dallas, it speaks to another alternative as to why she went out that night. So there's that. Now, we do know, actually, how about this? We don't know for a fact. We can only go off what has been told to us by people who were around her that night. Per Tasha, she did stop and buy pills. That is per Tasha. She then went over to Mo Dollar's apartment or house in Greensboro, and that's where she dropped both Naja and Tasha, or Naja and Marissa. Now, per Naja, Marissa was there and was having sex with Mo. And Naja did not want to be there, so she took an Uber to her boyfriend's house or wherever he was at, and that was at a hotel on Stanley Road in Greensboro. Now, at this point, we do know that there is some text conversation between Naja and Marissa saying, hey, where'd you go? All that stuff. So we do know that Marissa was not happy that Naja left her there at Mo's house. So then she and Mo go to this billiard hall for a bit, and then they end up over at the 117 Sofa Bar and Lounge, which is right there on Green Street next to the 113 Rooftop Bar and Lounge. And it's a little hole-in-the-wall looking kind of place. I've walked past it several times. And that's where she spent the remainder of her evening. Now, we had another person named, I forget her name, I think she goes by the nickname of Bubbles. But Marnicia Best, that's her name. She told us that she saw her leave the club with Jersey, and that she had asked Marissa, are you good? Do you know this guy? And Marissa says, yes, I know this guy. So she leaves. Now, per Sarah, and this is where Sarah has a bit of a contradiction. She's made it clear to everybody that Marissa didn't know Jersey, she didn't like Jersey, all this other stuff. But I have voice memos and text conversation with Sarah saying that for the week prior to this happening, Marissa was conversating with Jersey. Like they were trying to meet up or go out on a date or whatever. So how is that a setup right there? It's not like she was forced out the door. She willingly went out the door with this guy. Now from there, they were supposed to have gone to the Airbnb at 444 Gorell Street. And that's where we still don't have clarification as to whether or not Marissa was actually in the Airbnb. Now, a 911 call was made from the Airbnb, or about the Airbnb, saying there was a lot of underage girls, a lot of drinking, a lot of drugs, a lot of things going on. And there is a theory that the person who made that call is Marissa. Now, I have heard the call, and I have heard the call that she made from the Exxon, and the voices do not sound alike to me. But there are other people in the group that I'm involved with that believe it was Marissa who made that call. So that I can't answer one way or the other. But there's people who have told us that Marissa was having sex with Jersey in his car in front of the Airbnb. And Sean was there at the Airbnb because he walked out on the porch and asked people if they were coming in. So we do know for a fact that Sean was there. And then you go into what happened after that. You know, Jersey and Marissa get into it. He drives over to the Exxon, says go buy some stuff, because she says that on the 911 call from the Exxon, and takes off. Throws her purse and stuff out, but takes her phone. Now, per Jersey, these are some text messages we saw between him and another woman. He told this other person that the reason he kicked her out of the car was that she was trying to steal his phone. Because their phones look alike. She was trying to steal his phone. I don't know if that's true or not. That's what he told this person. So when Marissa sees that the car's gone, her purse is in the parking lot, she calls 911 and says, hey, he left me, I need a way home, all this other stuff. And that's when we wait for the police to get there to help her. And this is all around 3:41, I believe, is when that second 911 call is made. Not long after that, Shawnee Lily, who's a regular at that store, comes in and says, hey, can I give you a ride? She gets in the car with him, no problem. Now here is where we go into where Sarah is putting forth another narrative. Sarah says, he was stalking my daughter. He had been following her around on Facebook, all that stuff. And why would she get in a car with somebody that was stalking her? She's in a store with people, the police are on their way. If she was so afraid of this man because he was stalking her, why did she get in the car with him? That's what I'd like to know. So, but, you know, that's where that goes. So, you know, she leaves, you know, it's on camera that she gets in the car with him, and they leave, and she's using his phone. You know, she's using his phone, she's making phone calls, she calls her stepdad, who hands the phone to Naja, which, again, why she didn't call Naja directly, that's a good question. We don't know the answer to that. And she tells Naja, hey, I need to get a hold of Jersey, he's got my phone. And Naja's like, I don't know Jersey like that, blah, 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 blah. But Marissa does. You know, that's one thing I don't understand on that one. So, you know, Naja goes back to sleep. And then the last known phone call that Marissa made from Shawnee Lily's phone is around 5 a.m. Now, hours later, Sarah wakes up, sees these missed calls, and she calls back, and she gets Sean. And Sean is telling her, look, I dropped her off over at the store, or I dropped her off over here, or no, she went to the store, or no, she's sleeping. You know, there's a couple different scenarios here. But the Greensboro PD have investigated this man fully, and they've been able to prove that, you know, he dropped her off. So he's a witness. If he is a suspect, they have not released that. But right now, they're sticking to the witness narrative. So this is kind of where everything ends for Marissa, because she just basically drops off the face of the earth, and we don't know where she is. We don't know what has happened to her. And then we get into the chaos of the search of Marissa Carmichael. You know, Sarah immediately calls the police and files a missing person report. Okay, I understand why you're concerned. But yet you go around telling everybody that this guy that had your daughter in his car is a kidnapper. Now, let's be clear. Shawnee Lily is not the best dude. He does have a criminal record. And his phone number does pop up on escort ads. So he is definitely in that life. There's proof of that. But, and however, does not prove that he did anything to Marissa or made her disappear. And then we've had other people who were close to the case close to Tasha, close to Smoke and all that, and they've said Smoke hated Marissa. Smoke threatened Marissa. Smoke beat Marissa. And we know for a fact that he does have a history of domestic violence with her and with other people. Now, granted, the one case he has with Marissa is from 2018, or was it 2021? I'm trying to remember. Let me see here. Let me double check this. Well, anyway, it was from a few years ago when she had that with him. And Sarah was the witness to the domestic assault. So, Sarah, why are you protecting a guy that beat on your child? Why would you do that? That makes no sense to me. Absolutely no sense. You know, because AJ Always Something says that Smoke has, are known as Charles Lindsay or known as Gamel McIntyre, take your pick on which name he wants to go by for the week, has a rock solid alibi. But we've never heard what that is. Never. He's got another woman that he's been seeing, he's got children with. Her name's Jessica Brown. Now, maybe she's his alibi. I don't know. But apparently he has a rock-solid alibi. Sarah's like, oh, he's devastated, he cries, he doesn't know where she is. But yet, the detective made it clear to myself and the person that was with me that all he was worried about were these child abuse charges that were put against him. Marissa has an assault charge that she went to court for prior with her best friends. She got into it with them because she was sleeping with one person's man. Sarah's going around telling everybody, oh, Marissa beat them up because they made fun of her child. When I asked these people what exactly happened, they told me, and then said, if you talk about this, or if you ask us about this again, we will file harassment charges. Because apparently they've been getting harassed a lot. There is a Facebook conversation between these people and a few others where they talk about Marissa not in a great light, saying, oh, she's tired, or, I don't know why they're wigging out about her missing now or disappearing. She does this all the time. And, it doesn't look good. A woman that goes by the name of Russian Cream, we had a chat with her. And I asked her, I said, because she made the comment, Marissa put us in a bad spot. And I said, what does that mean? And she tried not to answer, and I pressed her. And she said, well, she basically, we grew up together. We've been friends for decades. And, so there's that aspect to it. But she had a tendency to sleep with our boyfriends, our men that we were involved with, which is what made things very complicated for them. Like, they are upset the fact that she's missing, but there's still that resentment because she was trifling with her men. But again, there's no physical evidence of this because this is just what people are saying. And unfortunately, this case, there's just not a lot of physical evidence to a lot of things. But if you read the court cases that are in Guilford County, and then there's the one in Wake County where she got picked up for simple possession, there's a lot going on here. And it tells a completely different story. It really does. And you can't ignore that. I mean, I'm being accused of victim shaming, and I'm not shaming her. It's just, this is her life. We're talking about what happened in her life. Like, just like when my husband died, yes, he had a history, he had a DUI in his past, and he was a heavy drinker. And, if you look at his criminal record, or basically the DUI record, you're going to think, oh, he died because of this. But if you go to and talk to the emergency room doctor that worked on him when he died, he said, and the footage from the street cameras from the accident, they said, no, something medical happened. And because he had a history of epilepsy and he was still drinking, they believe that's what set off the seizure. So, but everything with Marissa's cases, between the simple assault, the simple possession, the child support cases, it just paints a picture of a woman who was struggling to just keep going. It just paints that picture. She loved her kids, and I've been told by a few people that no, she did not give a darn about her kids. That, her kids were in foster care and she was living it up. I'd hate to think that. I hate to think that of her, but I don't know that. I don't know Marissa. I never met Marissa. But that's something, you've got people putting out that narrative, and then there's the narrative that she was a great mom and loved her kids. I don't know what the truth is. So, I don't know. I have a message. So, from Tanya Hernandez, were you able to find out what time Marissa contacted Smoke for money for an Uber ride? Answer to that is no. I have no idea what time that was. That has not been given to me. So, alrighty. So, still not seeing the people that have been questioning me and putting me out there like I am this crazy person. So I invite you all to come join me, because I have nothing to hide. So, AJ Always Something, I'm waiting. Come join me. Or Duchess for the Missing, or Duchess Discussions, waiting. Come join me. It's interesting on this, because I'm doing this on a computer. It does not give you the option to invite somebody on the computer, where it does on my phone when I do it from my phone. So okay, sounds like I'm getting some type of message notification. Let me check on my phone. Wow, okay. So that was a little bit of that's a private message. It has nothing to do with the live. So, hi, Nini. Yeah, request AJ. I don't know how to do that on the computer. It's not allowing me to do it, because there's no option to request her on the computer. Now, if somebody wants to send her a message, let her know that I'm live. And let's see, Kayla says, AJ ain't gonna come on. All she does is look at weeks old videos and starts talking crap and be a keyboard warrior threatening to send her Raleigh homegirls after us instead of fighting her own battles. Coward. Yep. I agree with that. AJ, you talk a lot of smack, my dear. Keep saying you're going to embarrass me, keep saying you're going to do all these things, but I've yet to see anything from you. I mean, only thing you've brought up is about my late husband, and guess what? I've already been upfront and honest about that from the very beginning. So no idea what you have to say about that. Come up with something new. And let me say this too, put this out there. Because I've been getting some criticism about how I've handled this. So there have been people who have taken it upon themselves to message my oldest daughter, and I think even the youngest one. And don't get me wrong, I am ticked off about that. I am really, really angry about that. But I'm not going to get on here and start screaming at people. I'm just not going to do it. Because in my opinion, for you to go after somebody and they have never commented nor watched nor shared nor done anything with any of these podcasts, I think is a bit much. Like Emma, people keep saying, how dare I make a video and say Emma Villegas can go to hell? Yes, I did. I sure as hell did. Because here's my thing. Emma was commenting on my YouTube videos back in the very beginning when I started putting them up there like in February. Emma's also an adult. She entered into the arena to say something to me. And I never responded to her. I never did. Because Emma was lying anyway. She put a comment, oh, the children are with Smoke. You got that wrong. Okay. So how did I get that wrong when he's never had custody of them? They're still in the care of the state. So Emma, I would love to have you on here live so you could explain that. You said one thing and now we know the truth is not that. So let me know. But yeah, AJ, yeah, I mean, for whatever reason, I am not able to add her, request her on here. So I'll have to probably do this on my phone the next time. But, yep, just waiting. Yeah, but somebody just needs to message her and let her know I'm on. Because she did make a message to someone and says, hey, let me find the screenshot because this is interesting. If you ever see any of her comments that she's given me, it's quite funny. Because, here it is, right here. Let me get my glasses on because, you know, I am old. Person said, what's up? Can you go live with Rebecca? She want to show receipts. And her response is, show receipts for what? Girl, y'all can stop with all that bullshit. The only thing I ever said she was wrong about was the child support case. And I got the whole docket file, so I know she is wrong now. If she want me to make a fool of her, okay, no problem. But the rest of that shit don't matter. All that matters is she was wrong about the real dad. I could care less about the rest. Oh, wait, and the detective said she lied about... Hell, he could be lying too, so I could care less about that as well. So, okay, if you could care less about that, why in the blue hell did you go on my page and say I was lying? Because if you don't care, then why post anything? I truly believe that you're just doing this stuff so you can get yourself more views, because your AJ Always Something page has 7 followers. You're trying to tell me you have 27,000. I would love to know which page that is, because the one that's your personal one has 7. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Boom. Well, that's 10, but 7. So, yeah, like I said, I'm really getting tired of these cowards that are on their own little websites trying to start crap because you know nothing. You know absolutely nothing. Oh, and this conversation goes further. So, and then the person wrote back going, so, no, you saying you good? And then she said, actually, she never responded back. She want to go live with you tonight, like right now. And AJ never responded. So, again, if I am lying, please come on here and tell me. Because here's my thing. And Kayla, that's funny. Be careful, we're going to get AJ's brother's shadow crew after us to steal our identities or hack us. Yeah, 7 followers. Where is the other 26,993 she claims she has? And then laughing smiley faces. So, yeah. I mean, I know you still got some little cronies that follow you and Duchess commenting on my Facebook, on my YouTube page. Because the live I did a couple of nights ago on YouTube only, I was told it was in poor taste to talk about the victim and do victim blaming. Again, not victim blaming. Just like, you know, I don't know, like the prostitutes that Jack the Ripper killed. If you talked about their lifestyle, like, yeah, they were prostitutes and they had children out of wedlock and they were living in poverty, that's not victim blaming. That is talking about the victim and the lifestyle that they had. It would be different if I said, okay, Marissa was possibly a prostitute and did drugs, and this is why she is missing. See the difference? Not saying this is what caused her to be missing, just saying these are things she was involved in. Massive difference. So are there any other comments, concerns, or questions? Comments, concerns, questions? I'm waiting. Okay, so let's go back to the discussion at hand. So, Marissa goes missing. We don't know where she is. Phone calls are made. No Marissa. And then they start doing the searches. They come out there with the orange shirts with her face on it and Sean's face on it, and posting flyers with both Sean and Jersey's pictures on them saying, these people stole my daughter, blah, 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 blah. And again, there's no evidence of this. The detective has made that clear. And if that's not the case, then Greensboro PD needs to come back out and make an amending statement to that, because this is what they're saying. They're saying there is no evidence that they're involved. And frankly, GPD needs to make a statement regardless. Let's be clear on that, because they haven't said anything since they announced that Sean was a witness. Not where we are with the case. They did say one little article that they were very concerned about her well-being. But outside of that, nothing else. So you guys could at least give a brief synopsis of what you think. Without naming names. I mean, you could do something. But no, they don't do that. So I think the case is going cold. I think they are not taking an interest in it, and I think it's going cold. And these lives, I do them to keep her name out there. And I know all I do is sound like I'm repeating the same thing over and over again. But at the same time, I don't have anything new. So all I can do is just re-talk about the timeline and re-talk about the comments I get here and there from people who think I'm full of it or whatever. These are things that I can do, but nobody is doing. And like I said, my biggest detractors, I would love to see you guys on here. I would like, Jamie Lipford. I would love to do a live with you and have a discussion about where we see things from eye to eye and on this case. You are doing your Missing Person Foundation, which is great, but, if I'm full of it and Mo's not involved, okay, let's talk about that. I've already done a live with Sarah, and I've done a live with Tasha. Smoke, I would love to do a live with you. Get your feedback on this, because you're being accused and speculated into a lot of things, man. And it would be great for you to say, this is my alibi, this is what I was doing. Because it's not hard for you to hop on Facebook and say, or just get on there and say, leave me alone. You could do a few different things. But I haven't heard from him either. Mo Dolls has called me and said I didn't do it. I have talked to Naja, and she's made it clear she's not involved. She kept saying I didn't do it, but we don't know what it is that she keeps referring to. But that girl's afraid. Victor Martinez goes and puts a post on Facebook and says Tasha knows where her body is, and then gets mad when people start threatening him. You big dummy, you don't put stuff like that on the internet. So, just so much going on. I'm shocked that Mo is still in business with all the shootings that have happened around Greensboro that are around his events. And I did hear the mayor is taking a stance on these promoters, and I think that's a wise road to go down. It really is, because I'm sure he's not the only promoter that's had issues. But it's just a lot going on in this town. People go missing, people get killed. You got teenagers running off, but teenagers always run off because they're misunderstood in their world and they have no idea what they're dealing with in the adult world. But Marissa was not a teenager, nor do I believe she just ran off. Unlike Prophet PI or PI Prophet on TikTok, who said that he felt it was a Carly Russell 2.0 case, meaning she faked all this and she's off running around, because he said he had evidence of that, but that's never been posted, nor has he ever shown that. Even the detective at that time when we had that conversation did not feel that she had run off, because nothing's been touched. So it's like she completely disappeared off the face of the planet. And, who knows what happened. But since then, since this whole thing has started, you've had multiple groups who try to get involved and say something and help. And then you've had people involved with Marissa who have gone out of their way to get kept from this case. Threatened, nonsense, just chaos all the time. And there's so many that have stopped. And it is what it is. But I haven't stopped, much to many people's chagrin. And I don't plan on stopping. But if I start sounding like I'm repeating myself over and over again, this is why. Because there is nothing new. All I can do is keep talking about her and where this case may or may not go. But any other questions or concerns or feedback? Has anybody messaged AJ? Always something that says, hey, come to the live. But like I said, just waiting to hear back from somebody to let me know, like, yeah, I want to talk to you. I mean, Smoke, I'd love to talk to you. Emma, I'd like to talk to you if you want to get on there. I'm not going to yell at you. I'm not going to make you feel stupid. It's your words that would probably make you feel stupid, but I wouldn't do that to you on purpose. Let's see, who else? Jersey, Sean, any of you guys, I'd be glad to give you some time to talk about the case on your end. But just waiting. Just waiting. Any other comments or questions? Anybody? I mean, one thing I've been accused of, the things I've said, keep saying, oh, it's slander and you're going to get sued and all that stuff. But yet, I'm not the one walking around with a t-shirt with somebody's face on it saying this person's a kidnapper. I think that's pretty bold right there. And slanderous. And AJ's doing the same thing. She's swearing up and down that he's the guy, but yet the police are not saying that at all. They're not going after him, they're not doing anything. So, as it stands now, we're no closer to finding her. I have people who send me messages and want to, be stupid and make threats and all that fun stuff. I have people who saying they're going to get gag orders against me and all that, and that has not happened. Because I'm only talking about things that people have put out there on social media. So, I mean, I'm not going to lie. This thing is getting very, very frustrating because I'm just trying to keep her name out there, and now I've got these podcasters who are brand new and trying to, oh, we're gonna handle it from here. No, I'm not going to stop. You can have your own little line of inquiry, but I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing. So don't come at me, who's been on this since the beginning, talking about this. So it is ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous. So anybody else got any questions? Insight? Confessions? I haven't anybody confessed to anything yet, so that'd be kind of fun. I mean, I got that one message from somebody who gave me an address in Trinity and said, hey, this is what we're doing. or not, hey, what we're doing. It's like, hey, go to this house and check it out because it's connected to Charles Lindsay, who was Gamel McIntyre. He was Smoke. And I'm sure he probably has a few other names he goes by. One thing that I always thought was intriguing with this case was when we found out about this guy named Jonathan White that Marissa was dating prior to getting with Smoke. He was older than her. She was a minor. But you could tell this guy cared about her, and he died, unfortunately, horrifically, because it was a robbery gone wrong. But he was best friends with Smoke. And then she takes up with Smoke right after. So I gotta believe there's gonna be an obsession component to this. Like, he wanted her, and, I'm not saying he set up his friend, because they did catch the guys who killed him, and they are in jail. But it's just an interesting circumstance. It's hard not to run down that rabbit hole and really think about what's going on there. So, alrighty. Well, I mean, no one else is commenting and no one else is joining, and I've been at this for almost 45 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and hop off here. And like I said, you all cannot sit there and say I did not give these people a chance to come talk to me live on there and have a discussion, because I did. I gave them an opportunity. They decided not to do it. So I'm going to hop off here. Everybody enjoy your Sunday. This is Rebecca with Red True Crime. I'm out. Be weird, be rude, be safe, and have a great day. And don't stop talking.